Welcome everybody to this presentation about the minor of lifelong learning in a changing society. The minor that deals with questions: how do people learn? How do they continue to learn during their lifespan? And how can we support this lifelong learning? The answers to these questions are quite complex, to be honest, and therefore we use insights from different disciplines. It's an interdisciplinary minor. Lecturers come from educational sciences, psychology, economics, technology, and by combining these insights, we try to better understand how people learn and how we can support them in learning. My name is Frank Cornelissen. I'm the coordinator of this minor and I will explain a bit more about this minor. Currently, society faces many challenges. Challenges in education, there is a shortage of teachers, but also challenges in climate, in society, in economics. If you look at these challenges, they often need us to adapt to a new situation. And to be able to adapt, we need to learn. Learning is as basic as communication. It's a human trait that we need to cherish and to understand and to foster. And society needs experts in learning that can help us overcome these challenges, that can help us to learn, to find new solutions. Nelson Mandela said it quite nicely when he said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And we need these experts that can not only think about the current challenges, for example, with the COVID-19 virus, and that not only think in the traditional ways of maybe solving problems and continue to learn, but also can extend and think in other ways, use technology of fostering learning and continue to learn, to cross distances and borders. And we even need new scientists, new professionals, new experts in learning that can maybe think out of the box and perhaps use technology or other approaches to foster learning in ways that we just at this moment we don't know about. Society really needs these experts in learning, and that's what the minor lifelong learning is aiming for, to build this expertise with you and to create experts in learning. Let me give an example of the way that experts in learning can make a difference. For example, not in a school this time, but in the context of an organization, a business. A couple of years ago, the Bank of America was struggling with their efficiency and their quality of their call center. It just didn't provide the service well enough and not in time. This is of course not good for the bank because customers are the core business for the Bank of America. So they asked MIT, the smart technology experts in the US, to help them find a solution. They came to the bank and start doing their research, measuring, talking to people, observing what's happening on the workplace. And after a couple of weeks, they said, we think we know what's happening here and we think we know how to solve it. So they were invited, of course, to the board of the Bank of America. You can imagine this setting. They were invited and they asked them to provide them with the solution. And they said, well, based on everything we know about how people learn, how they learn together, how they learn at the workplace, how they find new solutions and perhaps innovations, we came to a solution while analyzing this data. One solution. So the Board of America, of course, was very curious and said, well, what is it? And they expected perhaps a smart technology that might help solve the problem. And they said, what you should do is you should change the structure of the coffee breaks of these people. Wow, that was not something that they had expected. So Please explain why. They said, based on our findings and everything we know is that people at the workplace learn a lot informally from their colleagues. And this is often not planned. And you need to have spaces in which people can meet informally, in which they can talk about many things, like the coffee break, and in which they start sharing ideas about work and start learning from each other. You need to have these moments and places in your company. And they were lacking with this specific department of the call center. What we saw was that people were sitting with their headset on, answering the questions of their clients, and then at a certain moment they started individually to take a coffee break and then continue their work. What we didn't see was that they were having a joint coffee break with a group of people. And we think this is essential because what you will see is when you create coffee breaks, joint coffee breaks for these people, they will of course start talking about many things. Football, baseball, things from home. But they will also talk about their work, about this client that they were just answering their questions. And it was such a difficult client. What do you do? And one of the colleagues will then say, well, what I often do is this and this. And another will say, but you can also do this or that. And when this person goes back, puts his or her headset on, he will have many other options when he encounters another difficult client like this. He has learned a lot from his or her colleagues and is able to transfer this to his job and provide better, faster quality. Trust us, they said. Try it. Change the structure of the coffee breaks. And this is what the Bank of America actually did. After a while, they evaluated this intervention. What they found was astonishing. It had significant effects on the quality of work, on the efficiency of work, even on the absence leave for sickness, something they really did not expect. So in the end, of course, it's a bank. They also wanted to know what this intervention brought them. And after a year, they calculated it saved them $18 million on a yearly base. $18 million based on a kind of soft solution of drinking coffee together and letting people talk and learn from each other. It has quite a hard result, right? So this is the change that experts in learning can make by providing their expertise to organizations, to companies, to schools, of course, to so many places where people learn in our society and economy. If you look at our minor program, we offer you an introduction, of course, to lifelong learning and look from personal, organizational and societal perspectives at lifelong learning and what does it mean, what does it entail. And then we will take different disciplinary perspectives. So for example, we look at a more macro perspective at the economics of lifelong learning. How can you create, for example, policy that supports lifelong learning? We will also look from a more professional perspective. So how do you learn at the workplace? How can you learn during your daily work? How can you learn together with your colleagues and perhaps make important contributions to the quality of work or to innovations in your work? Furthermore, technology, of course, is on the rise today. Social media plays a big role in our society, but you also see technology that are rapidly developing themselves. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality. What do those technology bring for learning? How can it help us or maybe hinder us in continue to learn at our work, at our homes, at our schools? And along the way, during this whole semester of the minor program, you will also be part of a pop-up consultancy firm. It's a pop-up consultancy firm of lecturers, us, and you, students, and we will be each other's colleagues. Maybe we're a little bit more senior colleague, but we will be your equal in supporting you in driving this company. And what you will do is you will choose from a portfolio of questions, real questions from clients in the area of Amsterdam. So, for example, we have had questions from PricewaterhouseCoopers, the National Railroads, from the Supreme Court of Amsterdam, from an innovative school, or from the City Council of Amsterdam. All questions that deal with lifelong learning. A diversity of questions. Some deal with how to innovate, some deal with questions how to involve maybe the low-skilled workers also in education, and many different themes will be touched upon. You can choose from them, and you will work in sub-teams, small sub-teams with your students and with us on those questions. You will use the insights from the courses and of course your own creativity. You will develop your consultancy skills working with a client, design skills, designing solutions, and advising, reporting them, providing them with a report also in the end. So it's a way, of course, of connecting theory of lifelong learning to the practice of lifelong learning. So what will you do? Yes, there are many options actually. You will be designing for new learning technologies and thinking about the future. You'll be analyzing economic policy or the lifelong learning within a company. You'll be advising and researching learning at the workplace. And perhaps you will be supporting schools in preparing students for a life full of learning. Studying this minor means that you will be at a good university. University of Amsterdam and the respective programs of educational sciences, psychology, economics are all top programs in Europe but also globally. You will be part of a community with an international and interdisciplinary focus. We welcome you from everywhere, from every discipline. And you will be focusing on diving deep in the theory from the different disciplines around lifelong learning, but also connecting this to practice. You will be in the end gaining expertise in what we believe is a vital area of society, learning, lifelong learning. You will be gaining the knowledge and insights from those different disciplines and learn to combine them. And you will be developing skills, like said, design skills, consultancy skills, collaboration skills, by working on those real questions from society. This minor is a 30 ECTS program. It will be offered fully in English. As an entry requirement, you should be in your second year of the university bachelor, so you should have completed the first year of the university bachelor. And of course, we hope that you join us from everywhere around the globe, from every discipline, and we hope we can meet each other in September and start diving into those interesting questions of lifelong learning and start working on those interesting questions of our clients. If you have any questions, please email us. You can email me or one of our study advisors that can explain you a bit more about studying at the University of Amsterdam. You will be welcome to pose all your questions and we will be happy to answer them. Many thanks for listening and hope we'll meet again. Thank you very much.